7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to Tamra Simon's Live, episode 9 of the Real Estate Power Chat. And today we are fortunate to have Utah's own Michael Burns, broker owner of Lifestyle Realty and Lending. Excited to learn more about his journey in real estate and how he's making an impact. But as you know, first things first.
This is Tamra Simon's Live, where real estate agents from around the globe come together to grow, collaborate, and expand their business. Where we take our inspiring conversations and put them together to create dynamic connections. This is the Real Estate Power Chat.
Welcome. Thanks for joining me today, Michael.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm actually really excited about this. I've wanted to sit back and chat with you and talk about all of the things that you're doing and all the impacts that you're making.
Well, I appreciate that. And, it's been fun having our relationship. You know, we met, I think you sold one of my flips up in Ogden, right?
I did. In fact, your flip I sold to one of my very, very best friends. And so I'm like, we'll go and check this out because I'm always leery of investors.
Yeah.
You know, because not every investor is a good investor. And we walked through and I was like, okay, you have the approval to buy this one, you know? Because, I'm looking out for her because, she was single and she was making a first purchase from the time she got divorced. So I'm like, yeah, it's got to be a good house for her. And she was just down around the corner from her daughter. And your house was amazing. I mean, even, you jumped on, did a few little teeny repairs. And I was like, okay, this one, we can definitely do more of Mike's flips because they're on point.
Yeah, no, well, I appreciate that. And you've been in the business for a long time. And, as your style and my style relationships are kind of everything in the business, your name and your reputation. So I'm glad it's been a few years and we don't have any complaints on the property. But no, it's been fun getting to know you and staying in touch over the last few years. And I really admire and respect what you're doing and stoked to be on your show that you're doing. And glad to be here.
Thanks so much. So how long have you actually been in real estate?
I did my first deal in 2012. So about pretty much 10 years now.
Nice. Because I started in 2005.
Okay. Yeah. So you saw the shit show go down.
It was interesting because, everyone talks about the bubble and I was rocking and rolling, I was doing my thing. And then of course I was brand new. I had no clue the market was going to do what it did. And I was like, oh shit, it's sink or swim. So I dove into foreclosures and short sales. If I hadn't have done that, I'd have been out of the business like half of those that left when they did. Yeah.
No, I think we might be coming up on a similar situation. Not 2008, just because the loans, we don't have bad loans out there. But when it gets tough, you definitely, we could use a weeding out both on across the board, realtors, loan officers, investors. One thing I notice is those who operate from integrity and build relationships and actually, put value in being a master at their craft are the ones that are going to make it. And I think we need to bring some integrity back to the business because it's gotten a little sloppy.
Oh, it's definitely gotten sloppy. It's interesting to see, who stays in this business and who uses this business kind of as that part-time, I'll be an agent when I want to make money. Mm-hmm. And those ones are the ones that will be weeded out because it's not going to be as easy as it's been for the last few years.
Yeah,
you're honestly going to have to work. You're actually going to have to hone in your craft.
Yeah. Well, work is not a popular term these days.
No, and you're no you're you work. I mean, you're every time I see, you're either on a plane going somewhere to better yourself, or you're selling a brand new flip that you've just done, which is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I always know it's yours by your blue door.
By the blue door.
That became like your signature to, okay, that's a Burns property.
Yeah, it's been kind of fun to watch that whole thing evolve. And like even like when we have a retail listing and I'll post about it and it doesn't have a blue door, it's fun seeing the comments like, "Where's the blue door at? Where's the blue door at?" So I was joking around. I was like, I think when I do retail real estate and help people list their home for sale, I think that's gonna start being part of the listing agreement. Is like we have to paint the door blue, otherwise I can't do it.
Otherwise, I don't know it's you.
No, that's cool. Well, yeah, it's been fun, but it's I like the blue door, and it's we got a few people out there that are kind of copying the idea. So not all of them are ours, but most of them.
Yeah, well, you can usually walk through yours, and you have a craftsmanship in all of the homes that you do. I mean, just from my perspective, when I walk through, because I've shown your homes numerous times to numerous buyers that I've worked with. I've even got in on the multiple offers and lost. So, it is what it is. It's all part of the business. So, but I'd like to know how you got into, how did you dive into the whole fix and flip? How did that come up for you?
So real estate first came on my radar when I was in high school. So I grew up, and my dad in California, he owned a nursery and a garden, like landscape center. And he sold that business when I was like a sophomore in high school, maybe a freshman. And he took the money that he made from that and he went and bought a bunch of lots, and then partnered with a general contractor who I had known all growing up. His name was Roger. And so they had a deal. My dad pretty much provided the lot and put up the money to build the houses. And then this Roger guy would actually do the general contracting piece. And they were doing that from like 2004 to 2008, maybe 2009, somewhere in there, 4 or 5 years. They probably built like 20, 25 houses. And I watched how much money he made doing that. And I just thought it was cool. But when you're 16, 17, 18, doing real estate doesn't seem real. I remember when I was like 19, I bought a Everything You Need to Be a Real Estate Agent book at Barnes & Noble and reading it. And I didn't connect the dots that like I could actually do this right now at that time. So that's when real estate got on my radar, and I knew there was opportunity there, and I kind of liked it. And then ever since I was a little kid, I was always fascinated with big houses, big buildings, like just like real estate. So then fast forward to when I was about 23, 24, I was doing outside sales, traveling a ton. And my brother had asked me if I was going to be in town that weekend and if I wanted to go to, it was a Dean Graziosi, if you probably know who he is. And he was having like a free workshop that weekend on flipping houses. So we went to the workshop, ended up buying like the $1,500 course that, they were doing the following weekend. And that kind of started me and my brother getting into real estate. And then I want everyone to really pay attention to what I'm about to say. It took us a year, like a full year, and 94 offers before we got our first deal. So we started going to all the RIAs, real estate investor associations, and like, listen to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, just really plugging in and trying to learn, reading books, listen to Bigger Pockets, going to Home Depot. And, I remember we'd go down the aisles like, okay, a toilet's $85, a bathtub's $200, and really trying to comprehend how much shit costs. Because back then it was like every house, when we would run numbers, like, oh, it's probably 20 grand. It's probably 20 grand in rehab. I need to say that because today you can't get anything done for 20 grand. But that's how we did our first deal. So we went to that thing, plugged into the local real estate investor groups, and we found a newer real estate agent who was hungry for business too. And so this dude was out there showing us properties, pulling comps, and writing most of these offers for us. And we just grinded it out over a year, stayed consistent. We got that first deal. We made $24,000 on it. I thought I had arrived, like, holy shit, like real estate's what's up. So I quit my, I was like a 1099 outside sales rep. So I walked away from that thing that I built for the last 4 years and just dove headfirst into real estate after we had that first deal rolling.
That's cool. I mean, because I come from, my father was a contractor, my brother's a contractor. So building houses has always been something that's been in my life since I was a little kid. So it's cool that you guys would go through. I mean, did you get that in a book? I'll research Home Depot. I'll research this. I mean, how did you guys think to look at, okay, we need to find out how much this costs?
We were just committed to making it happen and hungry to do it. And, you know, that's a big part of it is understanding the numbers. Cause I remember our first offer we submitted, we submitted the offer and I was just sitting there like, fuck, what are we going to do if they accept our offer? We don't have what are we going to do? Almost like don't accept our offer. Like wishing that they don't. But I remember being so nervous on that first offer we submitted, like terrified. And then they came back and responded with, what is this, an unwelcome joke? So like, that's how bad our offer was and how low it was. So, as we continued writing those 94 offers, we kept just getting like hard no's, being told to fuck off, like, people offended with our offers. So we started realizing, okay, we need to get our numbers tighter. Like, how can we, start dialing in the numbers a bit more so we, are still able to make money, but there's not as big of a spread there. So part of that was really starting to dial it in, like, okay, what's stuff truly going to cost? And then instead of just throwing out a random number there. So we tried, and then there's different formulas. Like some people will go ARV, 70% ARV minus rehab, or there's all these different formulas that you can use. So we started like messing around with the numbers and running these different formulas that we were learning about to, see how the number landed on what the offer price would need to be. And then, so as we were trying to figure out how can we offer more for these properties so our offers will actually be considered. And that was part of it, just really understanding what the numbers were, like how much is hard money really going to be? How much is closing costs really going to be? How much is, the rehab really going to be? So then we could tighten it down and be more competitive with our offers.
That's cool. Now you and your brother are actually partners, aren't you?
Yeah. So we do a lot of the mortgage business stuff together, and then we've got rental properties and we lend hard money together. But he doesn't do much of the investing side and the flips. So I kind of got retail real estate brokerage going on. We have the mortgage stuff, rental properties, the flipping business, and then the hard money that we lend. So he's involved on about half of what I'm doing.
That's cool. Now, you went through and you was doing real estate, and then you decided to become a broker. Did you have plans to open your own brokerage at that point?
When I started?
Yeah, when you was, because I don't even remember which brokerage you were with before you became a broker.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've been licensed. So I got licensed when we did that first deal, just so I could sell it and we wouldn't have to pay the commission. And then also back then you could buy stuff off the MLS a lot easier. So I got licensed to save money on the commissions, have access to the MLS, Supras, pull my own comps, make a commission if we buy a property. So when I got licensed, then it was just kind of made sense, for the investing business. And then as things progressed and we were doing more deals, I got sick of not like needing to get a broker involved, because when you start doing volume, you have problems, a lot more problems. So really the reason for me wanting to become a broker was just to call up and be the broker and be the guy. You deal with all these dipshit agents and having to get their broker involved. Then I would need to call my broker. So the reason I did that was just so I could kind of be the guy, and then it's slowly
kind of get rid of that middleman.
Yeah. And then that, and it carries weight too, when you're a broker and you're calling up to navigate through a situation. So and then people just follow me and they like my lifestyle brand and what we're about. So now we have agents that are coming over to our brokerage, but really it was just to not have to have that middle person.
I really like the lifestyle brand. It really resonates with me on a personal level as well as a business level. And so how did you come up with your lifestyle brand?
So we started the Lifestyle Lending and Lifestyle Realty LLCs like probably a year and a half before we actually opened them, just because it took longer than I thought it would to get both of them up and running. But at the time, I just thought it was a cool name. Me and my brother thought it was a cool name. And then as I've kind of progressed in my personal development and really trying to share my message, it's almost like I had the name early and now I'm realizing why the name showed up. But it's really about lifestyle, like making money and closing deals is cool. But if that's all you have, then you're going to realize that gets empty and lonely and shitty really quick. So like for me, it's not just about closing deals and making money. That's a huge part of it. And I want that. But lifestyle is about so much more. It's like, what's your family and your home life look like? Like, what's your friends and your social circle look like? What kind of environment are you in? What's your health and fitness look like? What's your spiritual look like? What's your, what are you doing for like experience and fun and stuff like that? Self-development. So for me, lifestyle is all the things, that is important to you in your life. So it's not just business and money, because there was one month I made 200 grand in a month, like net. And I thought like, under normal circumstances, like chasing money all these years, like, oh, I'd be happy. And I had that. And my wife at the time, like hadn't been home for a week. Stuff wasn't good there. I wasn't in very good shape. I wasn't like doing the self-development and all the business stuff, but I wasn't fulfilled inside as an individual. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, when I have the money or I have the house or the watch or the car, or the vacation or the perfect spouse, whatever, we think these external things are going to make us happy. And if that's what you're relying on, it's always just going to be a short dopamine hit. And then you're going to realize, fuck, I'm still here with my miserable self. So until you work on the inside, like all the external stuff is only going to be temporary. You're never going to find fulfillment there. So as I've been going through this spiritual process and self-development, like true, not business self-development, but self-development, the last 3 years, it's almost like I've caught up to the lifestyle name and the brand and the message.
Well, because you have really dedicated, I mean, just from what I've seen, you've really dedicated yourself to taking care of you, making a better you. So, I mean, because that resonates as well to me, because in order to be your best self and to better others, you have to take care of you.
Uh-huh.
You have to kind of become that number one.
Well, if you don't take care of you, who's going to, And again, like if you're relying on something external to take care of you, no matter what bucket of fulfillment it is you're looking to be fulfilled to take care of, like then that you have zero personal accountability. You're not in control of anything. And you're relying on external things for yourself. And you're like, that's always going to be a dead end, lonely road, like period.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now you believe in hiring coaches as well, correct?
Refresh that. I invest a tremendous amount of time and money into coaches, mastermind groups, coaching and mastermind groups. Like that's a big investment that I make in myself all the time, regularly. And I can kind of trace, like, you can look at it. If you look at like the time and money that I spend on myself, coaching, mastermind groups, going to seminars, events, whatever, and you track like my life and the money, like it's parallel. Like you can, I mean, it's undeniable thing. Like it's changed my life tremendously in all areas. But the more that I invest in me, the better everything gets.
You have a huge following. I figured we'd show Alma up right there. So,
what's up, Alma?
But I mean, I truly believe in coaches. I mean, I think you have to have someone to get you to the next level. You have to have that person outside yourself that is not going to say everything that you want to hear. They're going to tell you the hard stuff. They're going to tell you the honest to God, this is the way it is. You either like it or you don't. Most of the time you don't like it. I mean but you learn from it. If you take what they say, you learn from it.
Yeah, I think, well, everyone's looking for the silver bullet or the magic pill or the shortcut. And I think coaching is like the only true shortcut out there. And the reason is if you can take someone who, like, like I wanted to get into real estate investing. I was brand new. And what did I say earlier? I joined the Real Estate Investor Association. So whatever it is you're wanting to do, you need to go put yourself in an environment where that's actually happening. And it's the same idea with coaching. So, I have multiple coaches, but there's a guy named Albert Preciado, for example, who is based out of LA, and he's got the Mortgage Guys, which is a huge mortgage company in LA. And he also has Ambiance Realty, which is a real estate brokerage too. And they're closing hundreds of loans a month. So he's in my business for the real estate and the mortgage piece. And he's further down the road than I am. He's a few years older than me, and he's been really successful. So I hire him as a coach, and I go tell him, like, hey, this is where and this is where I'm at. This is where I want to go. You've already walked that path. So he can help me cut out time, and he can help me cut out what works, what doesn't work. So you're hiring. That's a true shortcut, like going to someone who's done what it is you're wanting to do, and they can tell you this is what the roadmap looks like. So that's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's going to save you heartache. It's going to save you making mistakes. It's also going to give you like what works and what doesn't work. So that's, I think, the only true hack or shortcut out there is hiring a coach, someone who knows how to do what it is you're wanting to do.
Yeah, because I have huge conversations with other agents, and they're all, wanting to do everything themselves, yet don't have the roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can get a roadmap unless you work with someone that's been there, done that.
Yeah. 100%.
I just don't see how that path, without getting thrown boulders at you all the time that you have to climb over. You're going to have to do that as well, but I think it paves the path a little easier for you if you have someone to help guide you.
Yeah. And I think with coaching, or going to an event or whatever it is, people get stuck on the investment of money to do it. It's like, oh, well, I'm not going to pay this person however much money for whatever. And it's like, your mindset is off. Like if that's your mindset, then a coach isn't even going to help you because your mindset's not where it needs to be. But the amount of, when you value time, and you're serious about what it is you want to do, then that's when you're going to see the value of a coach.
Absolutely.
Until then, you're just, probably don't get it.
But I think everyone gets stuck on a number. Oh, well, they cost this much, and it's, but time over task. Hello, what will you achieve should you invest in yourself? I think that's where it's lost. They don't look at that money as an investment in themselves, in their business. It's like, how much are you paying for ads out there to bring you leads, yet you won't invest money in yourself so that you know what the hell to do with those leads, how to take it to the next level.
Yeah. Well, this is where I'm going to bring the energy and the spiritual piece in too. Whether you're with it or not, like that's a real thing. When you're willing to invest in yourself, whether it's the time and money, you're doing that. You're making that energetic commitment, that sacrifice, that investment, whatever you want to look at. That's when energy and intention and the law of attraction starts to play too. So it's like, if you're showing up and, hey, my intentions is I want to become a better real estate agent or investor or whatever, and I'm showing up and doing my part and I'm being intentional and I'm investing in myself, like that's going to come back to you. And that's just, whether you connect with that or not, that's real and that's true. And I've seen it happen for myself. So it's that's a big part of it too. So it's, you have to, whatever you put out is going to come back, and no matter what it is. But like, if your outflow isn't happening, how can you expect anything to inflow? And the more that you do that,
karma's a bitch. So
yeah. So the more that you're working hard, the more you're investing in yourself, the more you're being intentional and showing up and doing your part, things are going to start coming back to you. Might take time, it might not be in 30 days or 2 weeks or whatever, but like if you're consistent and then the compound effect starts to kick in, like it's a guaranteed that it's going to happen at some point in time.
So how do you protect your mindset?
My environment. So I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to the radio. I'm very, very conscious of the people that I'm around. Like I don't spend time around negative people. If people aren't supporting me in what I'm doing, then they can't be in my space, because everything that you're doing is either an asset or a liability. everything that you're doing, the people you're spending your time with, the things that you're putting into your body, whether it's food, what you're drinking, what you're listening to, like all of that stuff is either an asset and it's supporting where you're going, or it's a liability and it's not. And you have to remove all liabilities. At the very, very minimum, you need, like people or things can be neutral. Like I think that's the lowest level that I'll allow in my environment is neutral. But the people that I spend my time around, I want to be around people who are supporting me and encouraging me, but I like to be around people who are also doing things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be business, like different people are going to fill different buckets for me. So I might be with one of my buddies that makes $6-7 million a year, who's an awesome dude, a great leader, kills it in business and all of that stuff, but he's not going to fill my spiritual bucket. I might be with someone who fills my spiritual bucket, but they're not crushing it in business. They don't have that same mindset. Or I could be around someone who's just a wonderful family man, and maybe other things don't matter to them as much. So whoever I'm with, they need to be stimulating me and an asset in one area of my life. So if something's not an asset, then I don't have time for it. And that's just, I know that sounds harsh, but that's just the way it is. When you're busy and you're being unintentional, you got to safeguard your time and your environment. And that is the biggest thing that has, outside of self-development and the coaching and the mastermind groups, but that's also part of what I'm talking about right now. But that's been the biggest separator and what continues to leapfrog me forward. And then also the people that you're around, like they should be raising you up, or you should be ideally around people who are doing more than you are. So they're, like you want to do better. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like a little bitch if I'm around people who are sitting here growing and constantly evolving and doing better and winning, and I'm staying the same. That's like, I'm going to feel like a bitch, and I'm not okay with that. So I like to put myself in environments that are going to allow me to grow.
Yeah, I really like that about you.
It's a lifestyle choice, and a lot of people, they've got family and friends that don't support what it is they're wanting to do. And I think that's the biggest struggle is people don't want to, the family and friends piece is really hard. And you have that comment about crabs in a bucket. If you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket and one crab is climbing up and about to get out of the bucket, the other crabs will go up and actually grab it and pull it back down. And that's what the people in your life are going to do when you start making shifts and changes and you start growing and you start doing more and you start chasing your dreams. It shines a light on everything they're not doing. And that's when you're going to start getting the negative feedback, and you have to monitor that.
For sure. What are some of the things that you would suggest, not just real estate agents, but, people in general, do to protect and safeguard their space? Because I know that's hard. I mean, I've personally experienced having to weed out those that were really close to me that weren't serving me.
Yeah. It just comes down to, do you want the new and better and improved version of yourself in your life more than you want the existing version of you in your life? And what does that look like? And again, the things that you're doing, the people that you're around, how you're spending your time, the things that you're consuming, whether it's eating, listening, watching, the environment that you're in is either an asset or a liability to where it is you're going. And until you're willing to be honest with yourself and realize that you can't have your cake and eat it too, nothing's going to change.
For sure. Now, you're a big reader, right?
Yeah, I wish I read more, but I do a lot of Audible podcasts and reading.
What is your favorite book?
My favorite book? Oh man, there's a lot of good books out there. So for the last 3 years, I've been more interested in the spiritual world and doing like working on me. So Letting Go is probably the best book I've ever read for like yourself. For business stuff, I love anything Grant Cardone, like 10X rule changed my entire life. The concept of 10X rule is still the foundation of my whole life today. So that's probably one of the best books. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is a phenomenal book. Think and Grow Rich is a really good book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those are all, I think, staples in my opinion.
It's funny. I give out the 10X rule to every one of my real estate friends.
Yeah.
That is one of my all-time Favorite books for improving business?
Yeah, and the 10x rule kind of goes back into what we were talking about earlier. Like when you're trying to do something or make a change or get into a business, essentially what 10x means is it's going to require 10 times more work than you think it's going to. You're going to get hit with 10 times more adversity than you think you're going to. So that's why, when you're trying to make these changes, you got to understand like you're either all in or you're not. And the assets and the liabilities, I get that from Grant Cardone as well. So but yeah, 10x, like the concept of doing 10x what you think it's going to take is definitely a foundation for me.
For sure. Because I know, honestly, business is not easy. And it's not easy to get the haters. I've had several, I'll make certain posts and I get haters galore. And at first, it bothered me. It bothered me that people were coming at me like that so negatively. And then I realized, actually, that's not a bad thing.
And that has nothing to do with you. They're just they're just projecting their bullshit because they're upset about their life and their situation, and they see you doing whatever you're doing, and they know they're not doing and making moves on their end. So it's easier to just sit there and talk shit and criticize what you're doing. But and Grant Cardone says this too: you will never have someone doing more than you are hate on you and talk shit about what you're doing ever. So. Yep. For anyone out there, you think you have haters, people are just projecting their bullshit your way. But I promise you, if you look at it, none of them are doing more than you are.
Yeah. It took me a bit to kind of get over that, though, because sometimes, people are just, mean. They are, they're not kind at all. And it makes you wonder if they have a kind bone in their body because, they come at you. I've even been on some of the social media posts that you've had where you've had haters coming out of the woodwork at whatever post you've had going on.
Yeah.
But you always rise above that. I think that speaks to your character, because you're always rising above whatever's coming at you.
Well, and for me, I'm never going to listen to someone or take someone's advice if I'm not willing to switch positions with them in that specific thing. So if someone's sitting there trying to give you relationship advice and they have a shitty, toxic relationship or they're not even in one, why the fuck would I listen to them? Or someone's sitting here trying to criticize me or tell me what I should do with business, and I'm not willing to switch positions with them in business, why would I take their advice or care about what they have to say at all? So again, like you're never going to find someone who's doing more than you are criticizing what you're doing unless maybe you're not being ethical or you're crossing some sort of line there. So like if I'm not willing to switch positions with you in the thing that you're criticizing me about, why do I even care about what you have to say? It's irrelevant to me.
I love it.
Like,
love it.
Okay, cool. That's awesome, dude. So I had a driveway stolen a few years ago. Not stolen. People tore out my driveway in a house in Salt Lake somewhere, Mill Creek area. And it was like a 70-foot long driveway. The home was listed for sale. I ended up being on the news because the neighbors called. And it blew my mind how many people were like just tearing me down and talking shit. Like, oh, he must not have paid his contractor, greedy real estate investor, fuck this guy, all of this stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. These people don't even know me and they don't even have any idea what went on there with the situation. And like 80% of the feedback was nothing but negative and tearing me down and like talking all sorts of crazy shit. And that was really, this happened probably 3 or 4 years ago, but that was probably 3 years ago. And that was really eye-opening to me to just see that most people are miserable in their life and they have nothing going on. So they're watching the fucking news and getting on KSL Facebook page to just sit and talk shit. It's like, okay, that's totally fine. I'm going to make $50,000 on this flip. Fuck you guys. Have fun watching the news, talking shit. I'm going to keep, making, like, creating jobs, buying materials, trying to set an example, taking an ugly home and providing it to the marketplace, making a neighborhood better. I'm sitting here doing all these positive things and contributing. And then you have other people who are probably sitting in mommy's basement wearing sweats on unemployment, talking shit. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, and you've had some interesting things happen do your flips. I mean, I remember the driveway incident, and then you had a roof incident not that long ago.
Yeah, that was earlier this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Laura, my assistant, she called me and she's like, dude, this is a house that we had listed for sale and it was like supposed to be closing in a few weeks. Apparently the buyers were getting bids on like a roof, and one of the guys thought that he got the job, so like they had half the roof torn off when we showed up. So that was a whole nother scenario, but some crazy stuff in real estate.
Yeah, I'm like the joys of real estate investing, because I mean, just seeing some of the things that have happened, just over time. Because I mean, I'm a huge fan of yours. I really enjoy watching your journey and how successful you're becoming. And I think it has to do with, I enjoy watching someone that's on the level that you're at, and all that you're providing, because I think it's a huge impact that you share so much on mindset, investing. You just share. And I think that's a lost art in today's world.
Well, I really appreciate that. Like it means a lot, because that's what I'm trying to do. And as I just keep getting, more that I'm working on me and do my spiritual work, it's louder and louder and louder. Like, just share your message. So I'm trying to do that. So that means a lot. Thank you. And another thing that I like to do too is, I like to show everything. I think everyone talks about the rainbows and the unicorns and the butterflies and the big deals and the big paychecks. And that just puts up this front that, Instagram and the world does. So I like to talk about, we lost 40 grand on this deal, or they tore our roof off, or the concrete thing, or, just struggles, or having a bad day, or, hey, I'm in a lawsuit, or whatever it is, because, I don't know. I think it's important to show the full scope of everything instead of just a highlight reel all the time, because it sets, especially if there's a newer investor out there, younger Michael or whatever, and following me and seeing nothing but positive stuff, that's not really giving a service. Because, and actually when I share the stuff that's like hard times or losses, I get way more engagement, and people appreciate that. They appreciate showing, like, things not going perfect. So I really try to do that too, because I think it matters. Because if you just have this illusion of like, oh yeah, being in business is great, flipping houses is great, you make all this money, it looks awesome, and you're not showing the working till 2 a.m. That's why I do the pictures in front of my office when I'm leaving at 1 a.m., or I'm talking about when we lost money or a harder situation. I think it's really important to show that, because if you are not prepared for adversity, you're going to get hammered. And you're going to have way more adversity than success. That's just how it works.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that's the draw, is because it's not always rainbows. Yeah. There are some days that it's not fun. Oh, well. So, but I like the fact that you share that. So I know that you're extremely busy. I don't want to keep you too long, because I know you probably got a lot of stuff to do. But what I would like you to just, throw out there whatever it is you want to share, and we'll take it from there.
Cool. I think it's what we've talked about, like my big message is, go, like, you can build a lifestyle, or you can live a bullshit life, but you can't do both. And the only person who's going to change that is you. So like, I'm pro America. Like, you can do, be, and have whatever you want in this country. And I think a lot of people are just sitting on the sidelines, or they think someone's going to do it for them, or they're waiting for someone to give them permission. And that day's never coming. No one's going to come hold your hand and make your dreams come true. No one's going to come give you permission to go be and do whoever it is you want to be and do, other than you. And it starts with working on yourself and self-development, mindset, the people you're spending your time around, your relationships. Do you have core values? Are you operating out of integrity? All of those things. But I come from a small town, Tehachapi, California, one junior high, one high school, had to drive 20 minutes to get to school. And, I'm living the life I am now, and I got a long way to go. And I'm just trying to help as many people as I can along the way, and build relationships. So that's what I got. But I'm here to be an asset, and I want to provide value. And I appreciate you having me on the show. And you know, our relationship that we have is kind of a testament of what I'm talking about. You know, like we did a deal. All we did was a real estate deal a few years ago, and now we're friends, and, you know, hopefully doing more business together, having me on your show. And, you know, we communicate online, support each other. And that's really what this whole thing is about for me.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll definitely get together at some point. I got to get on the investor side more, because there's a lot there that I'd like to do, and, you know, I'll come learn from some of the best.
Cool. Well, if I can be a resource, reach out to me. If you want to follow me on Instagram at michael.burns, BURNZ. I post a ton of stuff and content. And like I said, just trying to provide value and make the world a better place.
Absolutely. Well, we'll make sure all your contact and follow information is in this post so that people can watch Michael Burns.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much, Tamra.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Respect for you.